Abia State for me was such a massive learning curve on many levels. Most of us live in big cities like Lagos or Abuja, Port Harcourt or Enugu, but it's the hinterland where I think the action really happens and where I think the most needs or wants, whatever you want to call it, is needed. Abia was a lesson in so many things. One was that the viability of many states is truly questioned. When a state has to spend something close to 95% of its federal allocation on paying salaries and on recurrent expenditure, there's not much of a chance for development to happen in those states. But having said that, I think there's a great opportunity to show how the private sector can play a massive role in actually pushing and driving economies so that we are not as reliant on government. As a matter of fact, there's something I'll speak about in the future called the Heritage Initiative that actually addresses this point directly as a different way of doing government. Unfortunately, I think from independence to today, we've gotten it wrong. We have a system that says government is the end all and be all. So everybody's looking to get into government because that's a guaranteed salary. And we are a people who are blessed enormously when it comes to entrepreneurial expertise, though, just the acumen to be entrepreneurs. And we don't get enough of a leeway from government. And Abia is a good example of that, where we had an extremely bloated civil service that was extremely inefficient, and you saw it every single day. For example, in my office, I had 2 to 3 people who had the same jobs, and all they did was watch movies from morning to night. They took a break at 1 o'clock to have lunch, and then they carried on with part 2 of the movie that was they were watching for the day. And back in those days, Nollywood movies had 3-4 parts. They were like 12-hour long movies. Abia State for me was such a learning curve in 2011 to 2013. For me, it was truly what made me say I must get back into government or into politics at some level. And it's taken me this long because I needed to think through and understand where we were and how we can make things work. So it's a long answer, but I think you get the gist of where this is all going.